Hey guys, what's going on? It's Eli, back with another review video, and that's right. You read the title of this review, and since today is May the 4th, the next Marvel film that I'm going to be reviewing has 4 in the title. Makes perfect sense. And I once again got with me my good friend, Anchorman.
Hello there.
Yes, that's right, guys. Both me and Anchorman are reviewing, and yeah, I can't deny it. It's sadly not the best movie adaptation of one Marvel superhero group, which being Fantastic Four. That's right, the 2015 Fantastic Four film, which, you know, I remember, because when the trailers came out, I thought the same thing too. I'm sure everybody felt the same way, that it looked like it was going to be pretty good. Like, this was going to be really awesome. Like, the way that this movie was done, like, the visuals, everything to it, the action, and so on. But when it came out, and the results of the film, sadly, it was a disappointment. It's a shame. I mean, it could have been a heck of a lot better, you know? But anyways, okay, so read the description, the story. Transported to an alternate universe, 4 young outsiders gain superhuman powers as they alter their physical form in shocking ways. Reed Richards becomes Mr. Fantastic, able to stretch and twist his body at will, while pal Ben Grimm gains immense strength as the Thing. Johnny Storm becomes the Human Torch, able to control and project fire, while his sister, Susan Storm, becomes the Invisible Woman. Together, the team must harness their new abilities to prevent Doctor Doom from destroying the Earth. Yeah, so we'll start with you, Anchorman. What are the first things you have to say about the 2015 Fantastic Four film?
Okay, so I think it's probably one of the worst superhero movies, and I'm not really a negative kind of guy, but
yeah,
I feel
me
like
neither.
just being honest how I feel.
It's understandable. It's understandable.
And like I saw like commercials for this,
right?
And I thought maybe it had potential. I even saw in a magazine that there was going to be a second movie for this, but it didn't happen.
Obviously,
and probably for good reason.
Obviously, for good reasons, because
I just feel.
I was just saying, like, to go with what you say, like, yeah, because there would have been a sequel, I mean, sadly there wasn't because of how horrible the first one turned out, so.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing, like, before I get into my thoughts on my first thoughts on the 2015 film, like, a recap on the first 2 movie adaptations of Fantastic Four and the one with Rise of the Silver Surfer. I think they're pretty good, and of course I've done my review on them. You know, I mean, that movie adaptation of Fantastic Four from, I believe, 2005, yeah. Boy, it was lucky to get a sequel, which being Rise of the Silver Surfer, and yet, you know, both those movies were you know, I mean, they weren't the best, but there were some that enjoyed them, including myself, but, you know, still, like, they didn't turn out pretty good, but then, of course, when, you know, this happened, like, oh, it was the worst. So, my first thoughts on the Fantastic Four 2015 film, you know, I mean, when I saw this in theaters, when me and my mom, we both saw this in theaters, like, we thought that we were expecting it to be pretty good, you know, but sadly, you know, we both knew that, yeah, we felt the same way, me and my mom, that it wasn't that good. But then, when I recently rewatched it, and, you know, I hadn't seen it in quite a while. I think since I saw it in theaters, I think I'm correct. Like, I think I hadn't seen this film since I saw it in theaters, like, all the way through. When I watched it again, I'll be honest, watching it again, I thought it was, I think it's okay. Like, I won't deny that it is not a good Fantastic Four film. I just think that, you know, this movie tried its best. I really think it did. it could have been pretty good. I mean, where it was going, I mean, this was clearly an origin story, another origin story of Fantastic Four. But, I mean, I don't know. I mean, because of, I guess, the lack of the story and how, like, you know, how slowly and surely these characters, all four of them, were getting their powers, and, like, you know, they hadn't already become the Fantastic Four already, and nor did they, say, have their suits, just like what the first two movie adaptations of Fantastic Four did. You get my point?
Yes.
It's just, I don't know. As I said, this could have been a heck of a lot better than what we got.
I think the movie didn't do good because there was behind-the-scenes drama that kind of caused the movie to tank.
Oh, that I didn't know of. But yeah, so what happens in the film is, yeah, a young Reed Richards, like, he is trying to create and, you know, make teleportation happen. And he soon becomes best friends with Ben Grimm. And I would like to point out, because Reed Richards' science teacher, I think so, yeah, Mr. Kenny, being played by Dan Castellaneta, a.k.a. Homer Simpson, Krusty the Clown, it's him. So
I did not know that.
You did not know that?
No.
Okay, so I guess you hadn't seen the voice of Homer Simpson in person, like, you know, you hadn't seen him being interviewed on camera.
Nah.
Okay, well, now you know. So
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and apparently, like, I would like to point out, because the beginning of this, like, it takes place in 2007. It's kind of funny that Reed Richards still uses old computers, like, that are from, like, say, the 80s and 90s, you know?
Computers were, like, well made in 2007.
Yeah, exactly. But anyways, and, you know, he seems to have succeeded with teleportation, like, teleporting something, an object to another place, and then it comes back. And, you know, years later at the, like, science, like, competition or that thing, you know.
The science fair.
Science fair, thank you. Testing it out, and even though it does work, like, gosh, Mr. Kenny just being a jerk, you know, he's just, like, saying that it's not science, which it clearly is. How can you not be fascinated by this and be amazed by this?
I would be fascinated by it.
You would?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would too.
They couldn't even find an object to teleport. They had to ask for that kid's little plane.
Yeah.
I thought that was an odd scene.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it was kind of a big object, and it definitely, like, that plane showed, like, where it had been, like, you know, like, the Arabian desert and so on.
And they just didn't believe it.
Yeah. Even after what had just happened, like that teleportation effect and so on. But anyways, like, Reed Richards, you know, his invention, it gets the attention of Dr. Franklin Storm and his adoptive daughter, Sue Storm. And do you remember, like, they were part of this, like lab division or company or something like that? Do you remember?
I think so.
No. Okay, I can't remember the name of that place that Dr. Franklin Storm and Sue are a part of, but you know, they bring Reed Richards in, and then also we then see other characters, like, obviously from, like, say, you know, from, like, the CIA, the government, and so on. We get say Dr. Allen, played by Tim Blake Nelson, who before had already done something in the Marvel world. He was in The Incredible Hulk. So, and for him to be in Fantastic Four,
he made a bad choice.
You know, I'm sure he did his best, you know, within this movie. But anyways, then also Johnny Storm, Franklin's, like, blood child, you know, like his actual son, you know, an actual child, being played by Michael B. Jordan. And you know, a couple years after being in Fantastic Four, he would be in something much better, as we all know, which being
Black Panther.
You are right. Black Panther, as we all know. Like, he was much better in that. I'm sure he did his best as Johnny Storm. I'm sure he did.
He was also in Creed the same year this movie came out.
Yes, that's right. In the Creed
Creed is so much better than Fantastic Four.
Yeah, that Creed and Black Panther are better than Fantastic Four.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways, yeah, even like say Franklin, not pleased with his son because Johnny doing street racing and wrecking his car and so on, and the only way Johnny can drive his car again, because he built that car with his own two bare hands, and Franklin gets his son back, with his money, and so that makes it his car. So yeah, so Franklin has his son work at the Lab Institute, I guess you can call it, and And from Reed, Sue, and Johnny, they soon connect, and even say, this is also where Victor Von Doom steps in, because, apparently, he was, I guess you could say, expelled or something, but, Franklin insisted on bringing Victor Von Doom into this, because Victor Von Doom was doing the same thing that Reed Richards was doing, teleportation. And Victor Von Doom being played by Toby Cabell. I thought Toby Cabell was okay. I really enjoyed the first Doctor Doom and the first two Fantastic Four films. Do you have anything to say on Victor Von Doom in this version?
I don't think he looks good in this movie at all. I found him kind of forgettable, but
yeah,
I don't know. They tried to make him look like a good Doctor Doom, but they should have went with the classic metal mask and green hoodie.
I agree. Just like what the first movie adaptations of Fantastic Four did. Mm-hmm. Yeah, just a simple metal suit and so on that Victor Von Doom can put on.
Yes.
I don't know, how his getup looked in this version. I think it's actually a part of his body. It's okay, I guess, but still, And so basically, throughout the film, it's just them trying to figure out the whole teleportation thing, and they do succeed at one point, sending a monkey, which, yeah, obviously, monkey being the test subjects, just say how monkeys were the tests when going into space. Yeah, so I guess that's acceptable. And everything does succeed. And that's when, Dr. Allen tells them that, NASA's going to come in and so on. They're going to be the first ones to do this. But, Reed, Sue, and Victor Von Doom, especially Victor Von Doom, they feel that it should be them to be the first ones to do this. And so secretly, Reed Richards, along with Johnny and Victor, and Reed bringing in Ben, Ben Grimm being played by Jamie Bell, they're the first four to teleport themselves to a different world, I guess you could say. Isn't it say a planet that they teleport to, or just a different dimension or whatever?
I thought they were on the moon.
And
they just find radiation there.
It's definitely
some powers.
It's definitely not the moon. But it's probably some different planet, I guess. But I'm not sure if I can't even remember. I'm not sure if the movie establishes that.
There's not much to this moon, if I gotta be honest. It's just a dark world with a bunch of green energy that just gives them superpowers. That's all it does.
Yeah, because what they discover, this green radiation or something, well, it causes them to get their powers. In fact, at first, it's believed that Victor Von Doom was lost after he fell and such. They tried
he does fall.
Yeah, so he's believed to be lost. While Reed, Johnny, and Ben, they survive. But however, what gets inside of their containers, Ben gets a pile of rocks on him. Johnny gets flames on him, and I don't know about Reed, but, whatever it was,
he gets the stretchy powers.
Yeah, the stretchy powers. And Sue, although she didn't tag along at this, but she is trying to, scan and check on them, but when they do come back, that shockwave, hits Sue, and she gets the invisible powers. And then at that, when that happens, when they come back, it causes a total power outage, like the entire city, basically. And that's when, you know, all four of them are taken into, like, what's the word I'm looking for, you know? Into base, I want to say, you know.
Yeah.
And, you know, Reed does escape at one point. Like, he gets to see what happens to them. Like, you know, he sees what happens to Ben. Reed does escape, but I mean, he did say to Ben that he would come back and help him. He did say that, and he promised that he would. And, you know, the government, I guess you could say, and Dr. Allen, like, you know, offering Ben Grimm, who has become, you know, has become like a pile of rocks. Well, you know, he's become the Thing, basically. You know, offering Ben to work for them, and the same goes for Johnny and Sue. And they tell them that they will find a cure to cure them and such. And
they won't get cured.
Yeah. But then, of course, you know, 1 year later, and, you know, what's been going on with the three of them, you know, they've been making good progress, and, you know, even say a heated moment between Johnny and his father, Franklin, because, you know, Johnny not really liking this because, you know, working for his father and so on, and, you know, just waiting to be cured, and also trying to find Reed Richards. And you know what? Reed, he's been trying to find a way to do a cure his way. And that's when, you know, the army, you know, whatever they were, and Thing, they come in, they bring in Reed Richards, and to, like, do the whole teleportation again. And to fast forward, you know, they do go back to that planet, I want to say, and we once again see Victor Von Doom. He's Dr. Doom now. Well, you know, a couple of, like, soldiers went to that planet and, you know, discovered Victor Von Doom. Victor Von Doom was brought back, and that's when, you know, all hell breaks loose, and Victor Von Doom, you know, even say at one point kills Dr. Allen. And he does. Yeah, and Victor Von Doom is planning to destroy the Earth, basically.
Just a basic supervillain plan.
Exactly. And that's when, yeah, all four of them, Reed, Sue, Johnny, and Ben, they get together and they stop Victor Von Doom. And, yeah, things, like, escalate pretty quickly. Like, they manage to defeat Victor Von Doom easily, you know, because, you know, the only way to defeat him is as they work together, you know, and very smart, you know, figure out how to defeat him, you know. And even say, you know, Ben, a.k.a. the Thing, you know, saying the catchphrase, "It's clobbering time," which, you know, I don't know. I'd like to point out that he got that phrase from his, you know, bully brother, you know. Thought I'd point that out. Yeah. And so Victor Von Doom being defeated, and, you know, this was kind of... I mean, it was a sad moment, you know. Unfortunately, Victor Von Doom kills Sue and Johnny's father, Dr. Franklin, and, you know, Johnny, because he wants to go after Victor Von Doom, and, you know, again, they succeed on killing him. And that's when, you know, the epilogue, you know, the four of them, you know, tell the government that, you know, they want a base/lab to themselves, no interference, and they want a lot of space and so on. And that's when, yeah, they're trying to figure out a team name for them. And literally...
It ends like the Avengers Age of Ultron.
Yeah, because when Captain America says, "Avengers," and then the credits roll, like he was about to say "assemble." And when Ben says something, you know, because he says it's fantastic, that's when Reed Richards gets the idea, you know, and he's about to say Fantastic Four, and right before the credits roll, we see the Fantastic Four logo. So yeah, and
it's like they just saw what was going on in Avengers Age of Ultron, and they were just like, "Hey, let's do this for this movie."
I guess.
They just put it into the last second.
And the fact that, you know, both of those films came out the same year. So.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, and obviously, the way it ended, you know, hoping that there was going to be another movie, which, again, as we said, you know, because of how terrible this film turned out, we never got a sequel. So
No.
I don't know. Like, if we did get a sequel, who knows if it could have been better than the first one? Who knows?
Maybe.
Yeah.
We could have saw Galactus, but he wouldn't be a cloud, like in the Rise of the Silver Surfer.
Yeah, like maybe we would have seen him in person, you know, physically see him. But yeah. Also, I remember, like, thinking about this when seeing this movie. I was wondering if, you know, Stan Lee was gonna make a cameo in this. I mean,
He didn't.
Yeah, but, you know, he was producer. I think if I remember correctly, my mom and I were talking about that, and probably Stan Lee must have known that this movie wasn't turning out so good, and, you know, he just didn't want to make a cameo. So, you know.
He'll make cameos in the MCU, but, like, the Fox movies, he's just like, nah.
Well, sometimes he sometimes made cameos in the Marvel films from Fox, such as the X-Men films, and of course the Spider-Man films with Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield.
Of course.
Yeah. Also, like, talk a little bit more about the cast. Like, you know, I mean, Anchorman, like, what did you think of the rest of the cast? Like, Jamie Bell as Ben Grimm, Kate Mara as Sue Storm, and Miles Teller as Reed Richards, and Michael B. Jordan as Johnny Storm, the four of them.
I think they had potential to be a good Fantastic Four, but, like, I just don't think they really did anything to really make me think they're a good Fantastic Four. I mean, they're all very talented actors, but, like, they probably just weren't given the right direction to really be considered a good Fantastic Four.
I have to agree with you, yeah, because, as you said, potential, exactly. I mean, again, as I said, this movie could have been a heck of a lot better had the story have been good and good writing. You get my point.
There's probably, like, an original cut of this movie, and then they decided to not do that version, and then we got this version. Imagine if we got, like, a longer version of this movie, like the Snyder Cut.
Yeah, something like that, and I'm sure it probably would have made the film a bit better, you know, maybe not as spectacular, but decent, you know. Yeah.
Maybe.
But, yeah, the 2015 Fantastic Four film, you know, as I said, it's okay for what it is. I can't deny it, as I said. It's not the best. But I'm sure this movie tried its best. Any last words you have to say about the 2015 Fantastic Four film?
I don't know. It wasn't a good movie, in my opinion. And it makes the 2005 movie tolerable. Not that I don't hate that movie. I thought that movie was okay.
Yeah.
But, like, this movie, nah, I just couldn't get into it. I just found it more of just a boring movie.
Yeah, I mean, you have a point, so yeah. And how do we rate the 2015 Fantastic Four film? We'll start with you.
I guess, like, a 5 or a 4.
Yeah, I think I'm about the same. Like, I'm giving this 5 stars, you know, again, I thought this was okay, you know, not the best, but still. And again, give this 5 stars, and you give it 5 or 4 stars?
Yeah, it's better than Superman 4, The Quest for Peace.
Yeah. And, yeah, until that movie. But anyways, so, yep, with all that being said, yeah, what about you guys? What did you think of the 2015 Fantastic Four film itself? What did you think of our review? Leave comments and give this review a like as always. Say goodbye.
Goodbye.
He says that for me. We hope you've enjoyed our review of the 2015 Fantastic Four film. More reviews coming your way. They're going to be awesome. Keep looking forward, and we'll see you guys in the next video/review. And stay tuned later tonight, because since today is May the 4th, we'll not only have me and Anchorman have reviewed a movie that has 4 in the title, which being Fantastic Four, the next film that me and my dad are going to be reviewing is something Star Wars. Stay tuned for that. Take care, peace out, and it's clobbering time.